Hello and welcome to the Living by Disney podcast. On today's show, we have a new VIP tour option at Walt Disney World we're going to tell you about. We have some awesome kid reviews for Frozen Ever After. They're going to give us their take on the popular Epcot ride. And we have a review of the Contemporary Resort. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Living by Disney podcast. Your home for all things Orlando. News, reviews, and real talk. Helping make your visit to Disney World just a little more magical. Now, here's your host, Serena Lynn.
Hello and welcome. I'm here with Louisa.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. We have a really cool show, some really fun things to talk about. I hope you've been having a great week. We have been having a fantastic week. It is hot here. Summer came.
It is summer.
It hit hard. As soon as we did that episode on summer survival,
It's so true.
like right the next day, it was like 95. I was like, what? I wasn't like trying to rush this, but
Right. No, I've been to the park 3 different times. All my tips are coming in.
yes,
Yeah.
we're using all the full survival gear is in place now. But we got some really cool things to tell you about. So we recently just filmed a full video guide for the Contemporary Resort. And if you haven't checked out our resort guides, we have a couple of them. We have one from Polynesian, Beach Club, and Port Orleans Riverside. I think that's it, right? Those 3.
I think so, yeah.
And so this will be our 4th one. And so we thought, since we just did it and it's fresh in our mind, we're going to share with you a little bit of an overview and just kind of a review. So you see, if you're interested in staying there, or maybe you haven't stayed there in a while, you want to know about it because it's just redone. So a lot of stuff is new there. So that'll be our main segment. But first, we have a little bit of a new option to share with you, brand new, starting May 24th at Walt Disney World. This is a new VIP experience. So we had to talk about it in Bibbidi Bobbidi Bougie. All right, welcome to Bibbidi Bobbidi Bougie, where we talk about the extras, the upgrades, the ways to have a little bit of a bougie experience at Walt Disney World. Not that Walt Disney World is not already bougie, because it is. But you can elevate it a little bit more.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah, honestly, there are so many extras, and we've really just been discovering more of them for this segment, so it's been kind of fun.
Hard job.
It's really tough. Let's see what kind of upgrades we can cover. But this is a brand new one that I wanted to tell you guys about. So Cirque du Soleil has a show at Disney Springs called Drawn to Life. And I don't know if you guys are aware of it, because I feel like it kind of got a raw deal because it debuted in 2021. They were going to debut it, I think, in 2020, and it got pushed back. Just very unfortunate timing. They were ready to open like the next week, and then COVID shut everything down. So you can imagine having a full cast of performers at their peak, like they're a well-oiled machine, they're ready to go and poised to drop, and then they get shut down. So the show had to, sort of step back and then relaunch. And it was just a weird time. People weren't, kind of going to live entertainment and stuff. I don't even think Broadway was back by then. So it was kind of rough. So I feel like it's a little bit under the radar, this show opportunity. So they are like just now debuting a brand new VIP tour option. So let's talk first just about the show in general, because I know you haven't seen it.
I have not.
And so I'm really interested for you to take your family and kind of see what the kids think, because your daughter, I think in particular, would really like it.
Shout out to Orlando Circus School, where she is an aspiring Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So if you've never seen Cirque du Soleil, they do shows in a lot of the major cities, and their shows are phenomenal. It's almost hard to imagine, I feel like now the closest thing we have to it is some of the America's Got Talent. Like, you get this like weird blend of all of these amazing talents that get put together, right? And that's kind of how their shows are, but they'll put them together with music, and it's almost always live music that's performed, during the show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's beautifully done. And then it's this mix of just all of these interesting talents kind of coming together in sort of a variety show, like a circus, but no animals or anything like that. It's much more acrobatics, dancing, storytelling, stunts, and gymnastics. And these people come for this show from all over the world. So each sort of act in this show is typically from a different area of the world. And they come over and do this. And a lot of these performers, they are circus performers by heritage. Their parents were, and their parents' parents. And so they've been training to do this since they were really little. So fascinating people that work on this show. But Cirque du Soleil combined with Disney and worked on with Disney to do Drawn to Life. So prior to this, there was La Nuba, which was a show that they had there. And that was a very long running show. A lot of you guys may have seen that. And that was a great show, but it was not a Disney show. It was just a Cirque du Soleil show that happened on Disney property. Well, this is the first time that Cirque du Soleil and Disney worked together. And so Disney Imagineering and Walt Disney Pictures and Animation worked with them to create this story. And so in the process of that means there's different characters that are used, there's different storytelling that is there. And the story of this is just beautiful, and adding that Disney element to something that's already good is just like, for Disney fans, it's like, it just makes it so good. So the story is you're following this little girl who wants to become an animator like her father, and her father was a Disney animator. And so you're kind of getting her journey of wanting to be this animator, but not really fully trusting herself and her creativity. And you're kind of seeing the journey that she gets taken on, and you're along for the ride. And there are just moments that are so impactful and beautiful. And all of the storytelling is done with the acts that are in it, the creativity, the talent that is there. There's no speaking really in this. It's not like a play. It's all told in this music and the storytelling that's happening. So it's fantastic. I highly, highly recommend this show. I think it's just beautifully done. It's beautifully done. But so the show is always happening, and you can go anytime. You can get tickets from Cirque du Soleil. The show prices are typically around $85 to $90, depending on where you want to sit. Now, what's new is they're starting this new VIP experience. It's called Page to Stage Signature Experience. And they brought us out to kind of see what this is like, and they gave us basically the VIP portion of this. So the way this works is, it launches on May 24th. You buy this experience. It includes your show ticket. So your ticket is actually included. You'll get premium seating to the show. But in addition to that, you get a VIP backstage tour after the show. Mm-hmm. So when you start it off, you'll check in for your Page to Stage tour. They'll take you to the concession stand. You get concessions included. They even have a specialty popcorn bucket that's only sold at Drawn to Life that you can get as your concession as included with this if you'd like. You get a snack and a drink, I think it is. And then you get a premium seating. So I'm going to put a video up to show you the exact seating that you will get. Basically, it's the best seats in the house. And this theater is just beautiful. It's kind of like a half circle. I don't know what you call that, but it's a really, really beautiful seat, beautiful theater, and you're getting great seating. So you get premium seating, so you get to enjoy the show like normal. And then after the show, after it's all done, then you're going to go backstage. Oh. And that's where the real VIP starts. You're going to first get to meet some of the show's talented artists. So they're going to have two different performers that are going to come and actually meet with you there. And this tour is very exclusive. So they're starting off with only 9 people at a time. So it's just going to be a very small group of you that are going to be back there. So you get to talk to the performers. You actually get to speak with them, take some photos, whatever you'd like, which I think will be really cool. We got to meet a few of the performers, and I'll show you what they look like. Their makeup Like that was my question, is how long does it take you to do this? Because it was just so cool to see them all done up. And then when you're all done, you get to go backstage. You actually go under the stage. So the theater has components and sets that rise up from the bottom and come up. And so you actually get to go below this area and see how all of that works and like where the props are coming from and how they move up. You get to see all of that backstage. It's really, really cool. It's so smart that they do it after the show, because obviously you'll appreciate a lot more of like what you're seeing. Highly recommend this. So it was limited to 9 guests. They will do just the performances on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays at this point. Tickets for this experience are $285 for adults and $225 for kids. So it includes your normal ticket. So again, that was like an $85 ticket or $90 ticket, depending on which category that was. That's included in this like bundle. And then the rest is that like VIP upgrade. So if you're looking, maybe you've done the show before and you're like, oh, I'd really like to get like a more behind the scenes, this would be great. And if you're, unsure about that, I definitely don't think you have to do the VIP tour. I think you should just go see the show. Especially if you've got a family, that would be super pricey to do that. But if you're looking for a way to elevate it, it's just a nice little add-on perk that they've got. But this show is amazing. Highly recommend it. And I love the opportunity that we got to just get a little bit of video clips for you. So kind of maybe, give you an idea of what it's got to offer. So it's Drawn to Life. We'll put a link in the show notes that you can, check on ticket prices and stuff. But think about this, Disney Springs, nice little add-on to your next park visit. All right, next up, it is time for Tiny Tourist. Welcome back. It's time for Tiny Tourist, where kids review attractions for other kids. This has become one of our favorite segments. And this week we are talking about Frozen Ever After. So that is the ride in Epcot in Norway. And it's a kid favorite. Frozen movies in general are the kids' favorites. But we were very interested to see what they had to say about it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is Amelia. I've been on the Frozen ride. And I like the darkness part, and I like the singing part, and the splash. Okay, I am an ice queen.
Because I'm an ice queen.
My name is Matthew, and I'm 6 years old. I like Frozen Ever After because the very end, I like Olaf in the snow. I don't know why he likes summer, but it's weird why he likes summer because he's a snowman.
My name is Hazel, and this is my little brother Harrison. Hi! Frozen is an exciting ride where you see all the characters: Kristoff, Sven, Olaf, Anna, and Elsa, and hear all the songs. The drop is smaller than the one on Pirates, so it isn't scary, but it is exciting. Hi, my name is Harrison. I am 4. I like the Frozen ride because it's so beautiful. The drop is not scary. It is fun. Thanks.
So if you watched our show with the Tiny Tourist, Basil and Harrison reviewed Haunted Mansion. And
Yes.
Harrison, who is 4, did not like Haunted Mansion, but
Not
he
a fan.
likes Frozen. So I love that we can get some of the Save Kids and you can be like, oh, my 4-year-old also does not like Haunted Mansion. They might like Frozen.
Yes.
Maybe they're like Harrison.
Yeah, I love how they told us too about the drops and stuff. They're like giving us a good idea of how intense it is.
Beta. So, yes.
I'm Devin, and I'm 9 years old. I think that the ride is really fun for all ages. And my favorite part is when you get to go to Elsa's ice castle and you get to see her. And even if you've never seen Frozen, it's a really magical experience for all ages.
Hi, my name is Olivia and I'm 8. Frozen is a ride for all ages. Frozen's line is usually very long, so I would get a lightning lane.
Not wrong.
My name is Margot. I'm 5.5 years old. Frozen, it's kind of scary, it's kind of not scary. My favorite part's when you and it's the ride goes swoosh back. That's my thing. Okay. Hello, I'm Hattie. I'm 7 years old. It's really fun. It's really unpredictable. And then once you come out, there's a really fun gift shop. So it's just really fun. Thank you.
That's so cute. I love the swooshback.
I know.
Because it is a swooshback.
It is.
Yes. And it does kind of, can take you off guard a little bit.
I love Amelia. She's like, I like the splash because I'm an ice queen.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Frozen is not showing any signs of losing its momentum in popularity.
No, that is. And also the very savvy little Disney friend who said the line is often long. Get a lightning lane if you can. Not wrong. If you are going to Epcot, Remy and Frozen's are the two most kid-friendly rides, and so very popular.
Yes, absolutely. It's a good idea to get that lightning lane or to rope drop it if you can. Yeah. Like early entry, you can get right to it.
The only sad thing is that it has such a cute queue.
Yes.
When you do the lightning lane, it's the same thing with Peter Pan's Flight or certain ones that you are trading off the time, but the queue is so cute, and they have like Oaken behind a little window, and every now and then he pops up and like draws in the frost in the window or says woo.
Yes, so cute.
Yeah. So whenever I do the lightning lane, I'm always like, oh, Oaken,
I know.
Bye.
I know. They have basically the same ride they've built in Hong Kong, I think it is, that just recently opened. Was it Hong Kong? I think it was.
Yes.
And but the animatronics are like a step up. Like the technology on the ride is a step up.
Yeah.
And that looks really, really cool.
And they just started releasing video of the ride in Fantasy Springs in Tokyo Sea. And that one, it's the same in that it is the retelling of the first Frozen movie.
Okay.
But it is different in that there's lots more of those vignettes scenes, and you get to see the part where Elsa freezes Anna accidentally, and then the unfreezing. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
So.
And her like ice palace is there.
Yeah. So there are some moments that are similar, but they have some additions in it.
All of this stuff is coming out with this new Tokyo expansion. It's called Fantasy Springs. If you guys haven't seen it, we're just dying. We're like, we have to go.
Yeah. So this is the third now Frozen addition to a Disney park, right? There's one in Paris, one in Hong Kong, and now it'll open officially in Tokyo, I think June 6th, the Fantasy Springs. And there's more than it's not just a Frozen world. But Arendelle is included, and
looks good.
Dying to go to Arendelle.
I know. It looks really, really good. But yeah. Thank you guys, as always, for sending in those tiny tourist reviews. We will post on Instagram in our stories when we're looking for more. So make sure you follow us over on Instagram. And at any time when you have feedback, or if you have some rides that you would like us to do as a kid review, then you can call us and leave us that as well. Yeah. Leave us that feedback. Let us know. Yeah. We're always open to that. But I know Haunted Mansion was super popular.
Which is interesting. I think it's because it's either going to be scary. I think if we do Pirates next or something like that. And those are the ones that,
it has, it's
as a parent,
polarizing maybe.
It's nice to have a heads up as a parent. Yes. Of like what do other kids say about this?
Yes. And what ages are they?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you guys. We so appreciate that. All right. We're going to take a quick word from our partners and we'll be right back. Let me just take a quick moment and tell you about our partners, Mickey Travels. Mickey Travels is a diamond level travel agency, which is the highest level that there is that Disney only gives to a small handful of agencies. So they really are one of the best. That diamond level even gives them their own phone line to Disney for direct access to help their clients. Now, if you're watching or listening to this, you probably understand that there is so much that goes into planning a vacation that's right for your family, and Mickey Travels can help with all of those details. From dining reservations to resort recommendations, booking special event tickets, to all of those magical extras like photo sessions, tours, or building a lightsaber. They book Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, even Aulani in Hawaii. If Disney offers it, they can help you book it and get the best price possible. And here's the best part. Mickey Travel's top-notch service won't cost you a thing. There are very few actual free things at Disney, but unlike other agencies, they won't charge any extra planning fees. So using them is completely free to you. I use Mickey Travels personally for all of my Disney vacations, including my trip to Italy last year with Adventures by Disney and all of my Disney cruises, and it is truly so helpful. So whether you're dreaming of seeing the castle fireworks, setting sail on a Disney cruise, or even traveling the world on a guided tour, reach out to Mickey Travels and let their team help you get started today. All right, welcome back. We are going to talk about in our main segment, the Contemporary Resort. So this is one of those long-standing, very traditional, classic Disney World resorts. It was here when Disney World first opened more than 50 years ago. So it's one of the original ones. That and Polynesian were right there at Magic Kingdom. And, you know, it's holding good. Like, I must say, she looks good. She looks good for her age. Don't let the fact that it's been around a while, deter you. But we wanted to kind of give you a little bit of heads up. So we just filmed a resort guide for it that'll really go into a lot of detail. But we want to just give you an overview, more of like the review. Like, would we stay there? How do we rank it in comparison to some other Disney World some other Magic Kingdom resorts? All right, so let me start with this. Contemporary Resort, like I said, is one of the original ones. It has just been remodeled, so it's really very much refreshed. They did, I think it was last year when they opened, or maybe it's the year before that, whatever time, but it was very recently. All the rooms have been redone. They have a very subtle Incredibles theme to them, and the entire lobby was redone, as well as they added in a whole new restaurant. So it really got a nice little facelift, so to speak. She had a little work done. She's looking good though, don't worry. But this resort has a ton to offer, and I think that it's something that maybe you're considering a Magic Kingdom resort because it's super, super convenient to you, but you might be trying to figure out maybe which one is best. So let's talk about just, I guess, the vibes first. Like, what would you say when you talk about the Contemporary?
It's like a weird mix between both futuristic and retro.
Yeah.
Like, it simultaneously feels like the 70s, but also like it's in the future, which is weird. Mm-hmm. I feel the theming is obviously completely different between the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, of the rooms themselves and the decor, but I feel like they're all equal as far as like they're all newly redone. They all are equal to me on that front. It just depends on what your vibe is. Yeah. And like the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian have such a clear vibe. It's hard for me to describe the Contemporary because the Incredibles, I mean, it was like that postmodern era of when the Incredibles fit so well in the style of the resort. Yeah. And
they do. I definitely think they were a good fit for it. I think there is like that postmodern sort of thing, but then you do have a little Jetsons happening.
Yeah.
It's very cute. I'm sure you guys know it by the monorail that goes through the building. I think that's like one of the, even people who don't know much about Disney World know that there's
I remember
a monorail
that
going through it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I remember riding the monorail and being like, blown away that it goes inside that hotel.
It is. It's really cool. And it does make a very clear memory, I feel like, when you're little.
Yeah.
It's iconic. Absolutely. And so the A-frame building is part of that main building that it goes through. All the rooms have just been redone. We'll put up a little room tour right now so you can kind of take a look at them. The Incredibles is the theming. So just like they did in Polynesian with Moana, it's subtle. It's not super in your face Incredibles. You definitely notice it, but it's not cartoony.
Right. It's bougie Disney to me. It's like very tastefully upscale theming with subtle touches. It doesn't feel like the art of animation or something, which is fun and a vibe, but just totally different.
Yes. This is a little more sophisticated.
Yes, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, and there's this monorail theming like behind the headboard. There's like this art that is very monorail. Like it's my sisters and I were like, is that the monorail? I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is the monorail.
It's very stylized.
Yes, stylized.
I do think that they could have just gone full on with monorail theming.
Yes.
Like I could have just done a monorail room. Right. And that would have been fantastic to me. But I like The Incredibles a lot. Like it's one of my favorite Disney movies. So I like that they did that. Pretty much the only place you're going to see The Incredibles are in the rooms. So it's not really in like the resort overall in terms of
in the hallways. There's that artwork.
As you're like going into the rooms. Themselves.
In the hallways, there's artwork in between the rooms and like at some of the elevators. But unless you're staying there, you wouldn't know. I don't think that it's.
Yeah. It's not like in the common areas.
Right.
Whatever. I think that the new lobby that they did is amazing. If you're a Mary Blair fan, you already know about the contemporary. Mary Blair was the artist that did the It's a Small World attraction. And she's done a ton of like very, very historic, well-known artwork for Disney parks. And she did a huge mural in that. So let me back up a little. So when you first come in the resort, you're in the main lobby. That's level 1. And that area has just been redone. And they really did like some nice artwork that kind of is in that Mary Blair sort of, era. And it's beautifully done. Downstairs, you have a coffee shop, you have your check-in desk, you have the little kids waiting area for when you check in. You have the new restaurant, which is Steakhouse 71. We talked about that as being sort of a hidden gem when we did our underrated restaurants. So if you want more information about that, check out that episode. And then from that point, you're going to go upstairs, and that is your ground floor. You're going to go up to the 4th floor. And that's where you get to that sort of iconic atrium area that the monorail goes through. So a lot of people, that throws them off. They think when they come in the resort, that's where they're going to be. But that's actually the 4th floor. And that area is called the Grand Canyon Concourse, which I don't think I remembered that. Probably have learned it at some point, but the Grand Canyon Concourse is that big atrium, and it's called that because the huge 90-foot mural that Mary Blair did in the Contemporary, that was their opening day, is based on the Grand Canyon and the American Southwest. So that's why you see a lot of like mountains and Native American references and goats and other things like that. It's sort of that American Southwest theme. And that's why they call it the Grand Canyon Concourse. And that area I love. So when you stay there and you're staying in that tower room, you're in rooms that are overlooking that concourse, which I think is so cool, right?
Yeah, it really is.
I think that's awesome. Now, it should be noted that those are not the only rooms. So that's the main building, but there's a few other buildings off of it that are the garden wing. And so it's possible that if you book a room, when you're going to see that, you'll see the tower and then you'll see garden wing. Garden wing will be a slightly cheaper, but it's going to be in a different building. So if you want that sort of iconic, you want to think about like staying in that little hub of activity with the monorail, and you've got Chef Mickey's there and everything's there. If that's sort of in your mind, you want to do the tower. And even if that's maybe just a little bit more money, that's to me worth it, because that's kind of the point.
That's kind of why you're staying there. Yeah.
And there's an energy to that area. It's nice. It's like there's something always moving, and it's like a kinetic energy in that large area. You're seeing people come and go. You're seeing Chef Mickey's down there, which is a big character meal. So you can see Mickey and Minnie and Donald and you can get to see them. You see people interacting with them. I don't know. It's just good vibes.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
There's high energy and it feels happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would recommend going for the tower personally. If you're concerned about noise, if you're like really noise sensitive, then the garden wing would be a little bit quieter. Always, of course, to me, when it comes to where I'm going to stay, it's going to be location, it's going to be price. I mean, price number one. And price is always so hard to talk about because Disney now does these variable pricing. Every single day is a different price. When you book it, it can be a different price. And then if you have any kind of discounts, you can get a different price. So even saying prices is tricky. Disney lists the average price for contemporary to be around $550 a night. I've seen in the 400s. That's probably the lowest I've seen. I've definitely seen it go up to like 900. depending on when you're visiting. I think the prices are pretty comparative to Polynesian. Between the two, that's a tricky question. The biggest pro to Contemporary is the location for Magic Kingdom, because it's the only resort that you can very quickly and easily walk back and forth to Magic Kingdom. And that honestly cannot be oversold as a perk.
It really can. It's so seamless, and it has its own security checkpoint. And it is so much more calm and peaceful to go through security there than to go through the hustle and bustle. And I always get like stressed when I go through regular security. I always get my bag beeped. And then sometimes you have to wait in a long line to get your bag checked. And that just does not exist there. And both going to the parks and getting there quickly, but also leaving, because leaving after the fireworks can really test you as a person.
As a person, as a
find out
female,
what
as
you're
a
made of.
as a male, as a parent.
And if you have a stroller,
child.
if you have a stroller and kids and you're trying to leave the fireworks and go back to your hotel, may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah.
Being able to just walk and not have to wait for a bus or get in that cattle herd going on the monorail. I mean, it is amazing.
You don't
be
have
able
to fold your stroller.
Exactly.
You just walk right in, walk right back out. If you leave the gates of Magic Kingdom, you will be in your hotel lobby in 10 minutes.
Yes.
It's so nice. So nice. So yeah, if you are a person that prioritizes Magic Kingdom, I always was. Like when I came on vacation, that was always going to be the most park time would be allocated for Magic Kingdom. So, and it's my favorite park. And you know, if you're going to be in and out of Magic Kingdom a lot, you want that convenience. Maybe you're visiting when it's really busy, or you're visiting when it's warm and you want to do those afternoon breaks. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to be able to walk. That's amazing. So that's its proximity to Magic Kingdom. The other monorail resorts are on the monorail. So obviously it's still really good to Magic Kingdom, but they're not that close.
Right.
You don't have that like immediate access to it. The second park that you're going to get to is Epcot, and that's also super convenient. You're going to take the monorail from the Contemporary one stop up, the Ticket and Transportation Center, and that's where you'll get on the Epcot monorail. That whole process will probably take you about 25 minutes, but it's easy. Like the majority of that, you're just sitting on the monorail, riding, vibing, enjoying the view. Like it's an easy process, much better than the bus. I'm not a fan of the buses.
Yeah.
I'm really not. So I think that anytime I can do something that is more enjoyable, I'm all for that. And then of course the other two parks, you will have to take a bus. So there's no quick access to all four parks at any point.
Right. But staying at a resort that gives you access to two different kinds of transportation is like our families. Now that is a must. Like if you either Skyliner or bus or monorail and bus, it really changes how much time you're going to spend trying to get from different parks.
Yes. And you have multiple ways.
Right.
So you have the monorail, you have the walking, you have boats, and you have buses. So if something goes down, because it happens, monorail goes down, boats go down, then buses go down or don't come when they're supposed to or something. Then you have a couple of alternate ways to get there. So as always, location is everything at Disney. I don't think there is ever a Disney resort that's bad. It's just like, what is it close to and what do you want to be closest to? Like, how do you prioritize it? I will say between the Contemporary and the Polynesian, if they are comparably priced for you, and the goal is just to be close to Magic Kingdom, I would choose Polynesian just for the vibes.
Yeah.
To me.
For the vibes, also for the pool.
Yes,
If you have kids that prioritize a pool or you, the pool is much better at the Polynesian. It's fine at the Contemporary, but just fine.
Yeah.
And the other thing I kind of favor the Polynesian for is the quick service. I feel like you have more food options and more good food options. I think the Contempo Cafe is fine and it's a little better for breakfast. We had dinner there and it was just fine.
Yeah. The kids weren't like blown away.
Right. It was like chicken fingers and cheeseburger and french fries. And it wasn't like amazing.
Yeah.
But they ate and that
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
But at the Polynesian, their quick service, the captain cooks, some of
so
my
good.
favorite food, like I would leave Magic Kingdom to go get their pulled pork nachos or the Thai coconut meatballs. Like there's things I can name. It's not just your average quick service burgers and sandwiches.
Yes.
Like they have really amazing themed food that is part of just the quick service, besides having Ohana's, which is really good and definitely miles above Chef Mickey's. And so just the dining and some of the amenities at the Polynesian are a little bit better.
Yes.
But again, you can't walk to Magic Kingdom, and you also get a much better view of the Magic Kingdom fireworks from the Contemporary than you do at the Polynesian. You can see them from the beach across the way, but it's not like having a balcony that's overlooking Magic Kingdom. So those are kind of in the matrix of your decision
in the Venn
making.
diagram that you are connecting.
Yeah, it's tough. It really depends on, I mean, they're both really good and have different pros and cons, but it's going to be different per person. The other thing I'll just mention that we don't say in the video, that I was surprised by, is that you can feel the monorail moving in the tower at nighttime.
Yeah.
And my family and I were like laying down and we were like, is it moving? It's moving.
Is it an earthquake?
You can feel, so if you're at all freaked out by that, if you've never looked, the Contemporary was built in this crazy way that they like built the rooms in a separate location and then they like lifted them in. Full bathroom, everything was assembled, and they just slid it in the way you slide a drawer in a dresser.
It was like Legos.
Yeah. It's insane. Like if we can put video up, we will.
Yeah.
If not, I'll put a link in the show notes and in the description, because it's really cool. But when you're laying there at night, you're like, oh, this was a
How
room that
secure is this?
how was the slide? How did that go? So anyway, those are my 2 cents about staying there.
No,
really,
it's
I like
good.
fell asleep and slept fine. But I could see that some people might be unsettled by that feeling. The monorails don't run all night, so
That's true.
Yeah.
They're not in the wee hours of the morning necessarily. Yeah. I think it's great. I think that, again, I think the rooms are lovely. I think you're getting a great amenities. You're getting pretty good food. It's not as good as Polynesian, but you are also a really quick
the
ride.
best Magic Kingdom access.
The best.
So
Bar none. Like, cannot be beaten. Will never be beaten.
do you want pulled pork nachos or do you want to walk
Yeah.
through private security? That's really what it comes down to for me.
Yes. And you could hop on a monorail and grab your pulled pork nachos.
That's right. I just like Moana too. I love The Incredibles, but Moana has my heart. So.
Yes. Yeah. So where we would rank them is we feel like Polynesian is the best in the monorail resorts, and then I would do Contemporary, and then I would say Grand Floridian. That's my personal ranking, based on just an overview of all of the factors put together. But obviously, you know, you have to kind of weigh it. So if you have questions on anything that we've discussed, you can leave them in the YouTube video. If you're listening, you can go to the YouTube video and leave them there, and we'll follow up and answer them. We're not trying to get into absolutely every little detail here because we're doing that in the guide. We show a lot of the food options. There is some like really great dining options to be had there. At the top, you have the California Grill. There are a lot of places to watch fireworks, even if you didn't get a fireworks view in your room category. You can very easily see them from your resort. So that's our take on the Contemporary Resort. We'll have that full guide coming out to you soon. But in the meantime, let us know if you have any questions on that. And if you have another resort that you'd like us to review and break down, whether it's in the show or we'll do it in a more detailed guide, let us know. We have a couple of things in mind. When I did some polls, I know one of the big ones was Wilderness Lodge. So I think we're gonna have to do that one soon. I think that needs to happen. But anyway, as always, we thank you for watching. If you are listening to this and you have time to leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify, really helps the show out. We always really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, give us a little comment, share, all those things definitely helps the show out, helps us keep it rolling each week. And we thank you for being here with us, and we'll be back next week. Bye-bye. Bye.